And with that, we are back one last time to set you guys up for our last match of the day. Team Z going up against Team Liquid, another uphill battle, hopefully filled with just as much fun as we just got to have in our previous match.
I hope so.
know if we can live up to that same hype that we got.
It might not be the same aura
yeah.
as Dildux, but it's the same kind of stakes here for Team Liquid. Like, expecting to come away in this series with a 3-0 against Team Z, continue that, and then fight for that first place or even the second place. That GK game is going to be really important for them. But with Team Liquid, like, the strength and how they looked even versus Space Station, it looks almost impossible here, I think, for Team Z. I think you're going to have to really expect miracles coming out of Peace and Ryan, especially against this DPS core.
But hey, they finally got the first victory of their stage on the board. That was last week against the Dildux.
Yeah.
You know, it was a convincing 3-0 victory.
It was, and I think that's where maybe we can see a little bit of upset potential. I know a lot of teams have talked about when playing this double flex DPS lineup with the Genji and the Tracer, you do set yourself up for some hero moments. And so if Peace and Ryan really can't carve out those opportunities to get those big blades or get those solo picks, we've seen how far some of those teams really can take that one pick advantage and maybe turn that into a round or a point win.
I'm down for it. I'm down. Look, you got the 3-0 versus Dildux coming off of that week of a high. You come in against Team Liquid, a bit of a tougher opponent, you would definitely say. But I think with how Liquid played against the SSG game, like, you'd expect them to be like super fired up as well. Like, going that close with SSG, with the amount of, like, you know, the C9, the Ajaxes, like, the amount of chaos that was in that game and just how high caliber that was, you're expecting Team Liquid to come in this with the same kind of fire.
Team C does have winnable matches on the horizon, though, and they are currently on the 6th spot, right above Extinction and Dildux.
Yeah.
They do still have to play against Sakura. They still have to play against Extinction. I think the toughest opponents they still have yet to come is Nightmare, and Nightmare had a rough start, but they should be, of course, the favorite, so that might be a bit of a tougher one. For now, though, it's Team Liquid, an uphill battle for sure. Liquid has been so dominant in this stage. Like, everyone expected them to do so well in this meta, and they're delivering just that.
They are, but they've also had a couple of weird moments. I mean, you look at, maybe they did win 3-1 versus Nightmare, but they dropped that one Ilios map, I think, which was a bit of a surprise to a lot of people, just given how well crafted this meta is for them. And then, of course, that 5-map series was crazy. Like, I felt like it almost should have been a 3-0, ending it all on Rialto, but then the curse continues, I suppose.
I mean, Vegas in a post-match interview there did talk about how it just feels like the comps were weird. They made weird comp choices. They made a lot of mistakes.
And they did.
We had the C9s, we had the Ajaxes. Like, there was a little bit of that, of course, in there, so it wasn't as clean. It was a dub, but he didn't seem super happy with the dub. I'm a little disappointed.
Very common trend, though, with a lot of top-tier teams that are expected to do extremely well, is if you have close games like that, you're not gonna feel great. Like, okay, great, we got to win, but it's like, we could have done better. I could have done better. Our comps could have been better. Our calling could have been better. Like, you're always expecting more from yourself and more as, like, the team as a whole. So I think that's, like, natural and almost good for Vega to kind of feel that way, because you can come in today with having a realistic game plan with yourselves. Like, okay, we're just going to come in, we're going to play the comps we really enjoy and we're really good at, like the Wrecking Ball from Infected, and we'll play Tracer from Zero. Like, we're going to play these comps to perfection, and we're going to make sure we're fully warmed up for that GK game in week 5, because that first seed is by no means locked in. Although GK still look incredible, they haven't been tested, and that is the big kind of narrative line going into week 5.
Indeed. Yeah, but for Team Liquid in this one, I mean, they are the heavy favorites, right? So Team Z, like, if we want to talk about their win condition here, let's roll a clip. I show you their win conditions, shall we? This would be a win condition.
Man, she really did it like that.
No, not the Ajax.
The Diva boot. Yeah,
this
with
kind
the
of
Diva
stuff
mini
can
boot
happen.
it's tough, man. Hawk is so good at this kind of stuff, and like, yeah, the mini Diva boop, like getting him to launch higher in the sky, it's a really rough moment. I like the Hawk POV here. You see him kind of boop into Vega. It's like a mini boop again, and then it's all over because Lucio obviously lifts off the ground slightly, booped up, and the micro missiles kind of finish off the rest. It was an insane game. This C9 as well was ridiculous. Like, the Rialto goes to 5-4 at the very end with SSG winning, and look at them all too. They're using sound barrier. Positionally, they're doing a good job. Like, Infected gets sound barrier here. They see Lep off at an angle. RuPaul calls for it. Infected backs up to try and kill Lep, and then Vega is also sound barring to then push Zera forward with that speed boost to get kills with Blade. So, like, there's two very good plays happening, and they're trying to isolate people, but it's just like a small comms meltdown because also Tree needs to be kind of far back on the Hanzo. It was a rough one. Like, theoretically, that's like a really good two set of plays there, catching the Lucio and then speeding your Genji in with the Blade with the beat. But, oh, tragedy in the comms after that, I'd imagine.
Yeah, I mean, Team Z, they have to be on top, like punishing any mistakes. Unfortunately for them, Team Liquid doesn't really make those kind of errors. Usually, a lot of mistakes in that match as well were simply caused by SSG forcing the mistake and putting them in a certain position. So I don't know, it's going to be an uphill battle. 2% believe though, so we appreciate the real stance. Let's see what this match has in store for us as we're handing it over to you guys.
Thank you very much, Soet. Yeah, 2%. Okay. Not expecting a lot of that Team Z apparently from chat. Fair enough, honestly. If you are predicting it and you want some more channel points, to be fair, you're probably betting Team Liquid here, even if the returns aren't insane. But look, I mean, Team Z, if they can end up coming up with map wins, I think they could be feeling pretty good with themselves. Because, again, that bottom of the table, that 7th and 8th spot, that is the danger zone. Team Z do not want to be there because you're then faced with relegation. You want to be in 6th, 5th, which is kind of a battle right now, Rose, with Sakura and Extinction.
That is really the name of the game for those teams that are sitting towards the bottom of the standings. And so Team Z, I think you're just going to have to look at some of these future weeks to try to get those maps or even those match wins, because this is an angry Team Liquid. While they ended up getting that win versus Space Station in that close 5-map series, I still believe that it could have been a 3-0 if that Rialto hadn't happened and finished the way that it did. And imagine where Team Liquid would be now. They would be at the top tables with a similar map differential to GK. And so they are kind of a couple maps behind the 8 ball on that one, with that 1 map loss to Nightmare and the 2 map losses to Space Station. I think if you're Team Liquid, you have to go into this one demanding perfection of yourself and your team. You do not want to see them make mistakes, especially against a team where I think a lot of people, and especially chat, think that Team Liquid should and will win.
Wu Yang ban for Team Liquid. Winston ban for Team Z. I mean, a Winston ban here, it's like you're almost expecting Infected to play the Wrecking Ball anyway, so the Winston ban is not going to go too far for them. I think Astro's going to be comfortable as well on the ball. I think what's most exciting about this stage particularly, or sorry, this map particularly as well, is that both Peace and Ryan can play Tracer, and then Tree and Zera can as well. We've seen a little bit of Echo sprinklings of it from a couple of different teams, but looks like Tree's wants to lock this one in on well. Zera on the Tracer. Yeah, okay, so Tree on Echo. Small comp differentiation here.
I like it though, because this Echo can play really well into the Genji. If you can't actually deflect away that focus beam, so that's something that you can use to actively duel out versus the Genji. And if you're able to land some sticky bombs onto some of these smaller targets, it's also a way that you can help enable this extra bit of damage and pressure coming through from the dive on the Wrecking Ball and the Tracer for Team Liquid. I mean, look at how well Tree is just able to kind of get that angle onto the backline of the team as the rest of Team Liquid also pushes forward. And it's Team Z that actually get the capture first.
Both Cinnabar and Vega almost went down there to the DPS pair from both sides. But yeah, Team Z end up capping first. Astro is extremely low, and another good focusing beam target is going to be that Wrecking Ball when they're running 50% HP. It's hard to like regain like fireball momentum and get out of there away from the Echo. Good little pick off though from Team Z. A good start. And Tree being able to poke out people is great, but having that all-in potential with the Genji is just so phenomenal from Peace. And I think Peace and Ryan have been incredible on the DPS thus far this stage for the squad.
They've done a great job together, just always following through on each other's call-outs, and as well as being able to follow through with Astro, whether it's on the Wrecking Ball or the Winston. And it's a huge deal that Team Z have gotten this capture first. Even though they have a member falling now, Peace is able to come back in, and they just don't want to give up the point here, because as much as they can, Team Z want to walk away with percentage before it flips.
Oh, Suzu and TP used there by the Kiriko means a free kill for Infected. Turns out Zero got the final hit there. But yeah, 52% already for Team Z. Good start. Although mine's already for Infected. I mean, Ryan's pulse swap, ideally connecting it to Vega, but the likelihood of you hitting that Lucio is pretty slim.
It is hard, and Tree also makes this a bit of a more difficult fight because you've got the duplicate on the Echo. That's another thing that you can throw into the mix. You can duplicate the Tracer if you want to, the Genji. I think both of those are very viable options just to have an additional big damaging ult. Of course, the Pulse Bomb is still going to be difficult on the reverse to try to get Team Z, but a pick from Peace. Really good start for Team Liquid to keep control at this point.
Yeah, Ryan trying to find an opening here with this pulse bomb. Just kind of spotted out Vega, but Hanbei, Team Z just kind of slowly losing this fight. With Peace just respawning. Looks like a quick back off. Luckily though, Team Z don't lose anybody else unless Zera has anything to say about it. Has got pulse bomb, but doesn't want to overextend.
No, you don't want to get caught in that window because there was so much focus fire going through there from Team Z. And you also didn't have to use any ultimates, so that's if there's something else. Like, as long as Team Liquid doesn't lose anybody here, they're looking really good to actually keep rolling with this progress. It's the Mines first though for Astro.
Yum! Dude, free sound barrier too, potentially. Couple more hits, we'll do it. 7 seconds left. There's the beat. Free sound barrier for Team Liquid. Team Z end up using their own, but Cinnabar and Astro are the only recipients of that overhealth. Hanbei going down as well. I mean, look, they've used both their support ultimates on the point without anything happening. Vega boops Astro into the pit, and Cinnabar donates themselves to the drink outside of Ilios, and Team Liquid come away with that one with an unbelievable ult bank. They've got 2 support ults left, and it's not a fight.
I mean, they used the duplicate deck, that additional support ultimate to hold on to their own 2 with the Kiriko and the Lucio. And with Final Fight now, just use the sound barrier aggressively.
Oh, and Hanbei's dead in spawn as well. Astro does end up getting the touch here, and it looks like both DPS are going to be able to keep up with Astro. But I think this is just a game of numbers here for Team Liquid. Pretty easy addition of subtraction. How many ults Liquid have, minus how many ults Team Z have, and Team Liquid on the positive side of things. And that should be the round. Hanbei's going to come back in for maybe a touch with the help of Astro, but no, it doesn't look like it. Peace, Blade, gets nothing, and Team Liquid end up coming up with the first one.
Wow, that duplicate was so big. I mean, of course, I was really focused in on that Echo being able to duplicate something like the DPS. It's kind of a traditional way that we end up seeing that Echo used, either the DPS or the tanks. But every once in a while, we see that Echo duplicate the supports, and it was just the perfect opportunity to get that Lucio, get that sound barrier, and it allows Vega to preserve his own for that final fight to just make that a really clean conclusion to that first round of Ilios. Fantastic stuff from the team. RuPaul was the only one that died in that entire round, and that was even after Team Z took control of that flashpoint first. The rest of Team Liquid just played so patiently to allow those ultimates to start rolling together to make sure that they were playing cleanly through those first picks, and they come out on top for that first round. Now moving into Ruins, it's going to be similar team compositions. Tree sticking to this Echo, which worked out beautifully. Jack, who goes after the Echo on Team Z? It's very difficult to send anybody to go mark down that target.
Yeah, the Tracer, normally the kind of pseudo counter to the Echo there where you can kind of pepper her away, but with the amount of kind of dive and you needing to jump on the backline, yeah, it's really tough for Team Z to even be kind of a fly on the wall to Tree, in all honesty. Team Z do end up losing Peace fairly early. Peace switches to the Sombra, and Team Liquid this time get the first cap.
Well, now for the Sombra, Team Z can actually play a bit more defensively. I think knowing how fast Team Liquid have wanted to try to set the pace of these fights, they use the Sombra to try to get the hack once Infected moves in, or even Zera comes in to try to get a little bit closer to that backline. But you're still trading members. Astro not being here is the perfect signal for Team Liquid to go in and try to clean up the rest of Team Z.
I think Astro got boofed off the map. Like, RuPaul got a lot of ult charge for that. Regardless, I mean, Astro going down first isn't great. yeah, setting up people with a hack is going to be really important. Actually getting it off, though, is actually sometimes quite tough. I mean, against the Wrecking Ball, you need 5 players looking at the ball, ideally, and then you burst the ball down, or at least to the point where the ball has to back off, and they're unavailable for the next 10 seconds or so while they get health packs. But Infected is basically playing like the Sombra doesn't exist in this lobby. He even gets the slam kill on Peace. Like, yeah, they're playing super aggro. You can tell Team Liquid, Rose, very locked in. Just want to get to
I mean, that's kind of where they need to put their focus on for this week after that close map series. But now Team Liquid with 60%, they're also going to start getting ultimates on the board. Now this is where we'll really be able to see just how cleanly they can make these fights. Duplicate up first, and then you still have mines. So if Team Liquid keep this forward positioning, Infected can use the mines to try to cover this open territory, and the Tree can go in with the duplicate too.
Like the switch up from Peace, though, going into the echo of their own. Focusing being on the ball, doesn't quite grow purple enough, or long enough at least. This Tree also turns into a Wrecking Ball. Zera dies to, must have been his own pulse.
Well, it doesn't matter because mine's in the spawn, you've got the focus in the spawn. Someone's actually going to have to go and touch it. They use the rush to actually just get through the team. And they can't.
That was close, actually. I mean, maybe Astro touches. But yeah, using the mines on the spawn door, pretty excellent from Infected. Cannot touch anything. You have to walk out, kill all the mines, and then hopefully get out of the door. But yeah, Zera going down twice, I think once to himself. So a couple of limbs there for Team Z on that first map. But like you mentioned, I think Team Liquid want to lock in here, get this 3-0, and having a map differential difference as well versus Space Station is going to be pretty important. They have still not lost a series either. They're still sitting at 3-0, whereas Space Station right now 4-1 with that loss to Team Liquid last week.
Yeah, and they have also not had the most of the flawless wins either. I mean, Nightmare was that one team that took control off of both Space Station and Team Liquid, which has hurt that map differential versus the other team that's towards the top, GK, who is undefeated. Perfect win-loss, no maps dropped. And I think for Team Liquid, it is just returning to form, making sure that they do have all of the mechanics and basics down. While I would have loved to be able to see another rodeo with the funny heroes and compositions, I think Team Liquid is taking this match quite seriously because of that map differential.
Yeah, exactly. It is important in the end. Oh, he did get the boop. Yeah, nice stuff from Vega. Unfortunately, Astro couldn't quite get the grapple online. Double Wrecking Ball is like things of nightmares, I think. 2 Wrecking Balls on the field, slamming after each other. I mean, that's crazy stuff. Yeah, Team Liquid look good. I think with how the rest of their stage looks, it's also worth keeping in mind, like looking even towards international competition. World Finals is like right around the corner. You're going to be facing Falcons, Raccoon, like whatever Team Japan also end up sending, you know. I think at the end of the day, being able to compete on the highest level, it has been fairly close, or closer at the international competition. I think with how well EMEA had done in mid-season, it's been a big shining light. Like, look, the gap is closing. But as we transition to this meta, away from perma sim, I don't want to say there's no sim anymore, because EMEA are still playing Symmetro, because of course they are. But it feels to me that NA have a better chance against a lot of these top EMEA teams as well going into that LAN. Don't forget as well, if you actually want to join us in Stockholm, check out some of our DHL moments and predict the EMEA and NA winners to be in with a chance of getting some tickets to go there. It will be a good time. Sweden's rather cold that time of year, so pack some warm clothes, but it will be a good time nonetheless. And it's a giant festival as well, Rose, which are with a ton of other gaming stuff to check out as well while you're there.
I had such a fun time, not just, of course, like being there at the Overwatch World Finals, but there were so many other games that were also holding their big LANs at DreamHack. So I remember checking out a couple of the other FPS titles, strategy titles. There were a lot of vendors there as well that were showcasing fan art, other things that you could buy like little trinkets and things. It's just like a really great atmosphere. And I even remember the Dream Hacks back in the day where like they've got these still quite big bring your own setup areas to be able to participate in other tournaments. So there's even more for you to do just outside of watching competitive Overwatch. So I do hope people will show up and join us again.
Have a good time. Yeah, me and Mitch were hunting for the TCG section, just like heel, just making sure we can find, hey, where's the magic at? Esperanza is the map pick for Team Z. I think at some point you do ban the Wrecking Ball here. I think the order of... oh, it's actually Team Liquid that banned.
Wow.
Little Winston here potentially then for TL. Cassidy ban for Team Z.
That's kind of an interesting ban. Like, it's been kind of a weird ban strategy so far in this match. I mean, Winston getting banned out there, I think actually does hurt Astro a little bit, since both Astro and Infected would like to play the Winston, or obviously can. And then Team Liquid banning out the Wrecking Ball. I guess it allows you to be able to play something like the Hazard. You know, maybe you're forcing Astro to actually have to play either the Winston or the Zarya if you want to. And then you just go ahead and have Infected play the Hazard, or you just win out the duel with the Winston. Cassidy, though, I mean, that's been a really nice way to actually stop something like the Winston or the Wrecking Ball. So, I don't know, it's weird. This is a weird one.
Yeah, I don't mind, I don't mind the Cassidy ban at all, especially with this DPS line. I mean, Hanzo has been just an unreal pick. Esperanza, I don't think is really the map for the Hanzo. You can play it.
You can play Freya,
a little bit
though.
more risky, but Freya is exceptional on this point, especially the first. Soldier too. I mean, we've seen a little bit of Soldier actually. It's been quite fun actually to see 76 be locked in. I think there's definitely a time and place for it, but with the prevalence of Wrecking Balls and stuff, the Soldier loses a little bit of viability, I think. We'll see if Tree ends up locking that in or just going maybe towards the Echo again, which has been creeping into the meta. No Wu Yang either for both sides. Happy with the Kiri Lucy as we see Peace and Ryan on their classic Genji Tracer again.
Genji Tracer, the Echo already threw a spanner in the works versus this DPS duo from Team Z, so it's really on Team Z to try to find an answer to Tree's Echo. It plays so well against this middle pillar. You also have the bridge that you can play around, so much high ground that will go relatively uncontested. Still kind of a similar problem of who do you send after this Echo to really try to do damage to it. If you send an Astro, then you don't always have a jump available for you to try to get away if the team targets you down. And that's why you see these two teams kind of just posturing to figure out who's going to go in first. It is Astro that takes the first jump.
Takes the first jump, but he also takes like 700 sticky bombs there from Tree as well as soon as he hits the floor, before the bubble even got deployed. Nice map flip, actually, from Team Liquid, too. They managed to sneak the bot away. And having Team Z in this position is awful, in all honesty. Like, Team Z needs to be able to group up and get a kill. But it's unfortunate that Peace ends up going down first to RuPaul. High ground control, bot control. Like, Team Liquid are playing this almost perfectly here. Suzu end up connecting with Astro as he tries to end up touching the point. But, yeah, it's not going to be a pretty fight at all for Team Z. They take one with Vega dying, but that's it. That's almost a team kill, with Peace respawning just at the tail end of that fight.
I think it's a trade you're also okay to take. You know, Vega's going to be coming back up really quickly. And as we see this first checkpoint getting approached, let's take a listen in and see how these teams are feeling about this next fight.
I'm playing really safe. They have to play up Reaper man.
Window. And blue. Blue one.
Reaper man.
Reaper one.
Can you jump?
A bubble.
I'm in a bubble.
Come
3, 2, walk in. I'm on backline. Kiri. Right, Reaper.
Come right.
Reaper point. Reaper one. You're near TP.
Look at Go point. Don't trade.
3-1.
Reaper one right there.
Good point.
He's curious. Be primal. Impulse. Be primal pulse.
Okay, we can let copy die for top beat, staying with our beat.
Yeah.
What a Team Liquid. They are so smooth, man. They are really, really clean with it on that dive, on that re-aggress there through the window. They're calling beat Primal being available, but obviously we can see that they're not quite there yet. Like, Team Z can't go for an aggressive dive here, not just yet, which is going to give Vega enough time to get their own beat to counter Cinnabar.
Yes, and I think that's really important. You've already been... You also, the duplicates have tried to delay a little bit further to help Vega get to that beat on time. And that's something that you could do to send in Tree now. But you want to be very careful about this open space. If you give them too much, then Team Z is able to kind of capitalize on you stepping too far forward. So Team Liquid do press the S key here to wait for the sound barrier.
Beat available from Vega. Suzu there from RuPaul too to make sure Vega connects that sound barrier to the ground. There is a Primal Rage still available as Tree transforms into Kiriko. 3 supports on the field and an instant rush pretty much. Tree's going to get knocked out of this ult in just a moment, although receives a Suzu from RuPaul, actually tops him all the way back up. Rush, such an unbelievable ult in this small choke here where you're just perma-fighting. Zera connects a pulse bomb to Astro's face, but Hanbei there with the Suzu for the save. That damage being negated completely. Zera now playing a little bit more safe, secure on the Tracer pick because Team Liquid gain a couple of extra meters off of that, and Rose, they are still winning this fight. Tree ends up getting Suzu'd, backing all the way up. Astro ends up going dominated by Tree, and Liquid are just continuing their rampage down this stretch here.
I wouldn't be surprised if they actually used Kitsune Rush if they were still in a power position. I mean, they're pushing the bot, and they don't even need to use the rush to finish off that fight, but I think it would have been fine because look at how much progress you're able to take from that. Vega's going to go back in Taxi, I believe, just to make sure that Tree is going to be back in, and you've got a full 5v5. And in fact, it is going to be paying Payload Princesses to push that as far forward as possible. Now you get a chance to actually play around this corner, but you got to be careful too. Kitsune Rush available for both teams. That piece gets very low. You have to expect that Death Blossom is here.
There's a rather defensive rush being used there by Hanbei up on the high ground, but it still nets them with a kill. They chase Infected, who was kind of critical health throughout that entire engagement. RuPaul, though, saving the rush. I mean, this is push in a nutshell, right? Okay, we've lost this fight. It's okay. They used an ult. Now we reset mid. Then we use our own ult, so we have an advantage. Like, this is kind of the playbook, if you will, Rose.
Yeah, I mean, you don't even need to finish out the full map if you're Team Liquid. You still want to play with those good fundamentals of going back to mid and trying to fight over this central point again. And that's where that rush becomes really powerful. Look at far back Team Z actually gets pushed. Cinnabar is just all by yourself and gets chased down in the process.
Yeah, I think what you mentioned there is actually really important. Just like good fundamental Overwatch, just being able to reset in the mid, go again. Like, Liquid are locked in, as locked in as they possibly could be. 0.87 meters for Team Z with Liquid at 100 plus. Like, Apple Theory there and there are back. Like, yeah, it's pretty tough for Team Z at this point. 4.5 minutes, 3 ults. Oh, sorry, another ult for Team Liquid. They got a beat up in a couple of moments.
And they're still chasing these kills. I mean, they are pushing this bot to the final checkpoint. And getting the kills in the progress. Oh my god, Cinnabar actually loses the ability to get this sound barrier up in time.
99% and died. Vega's got a beat. There was a rush from Tree too. I really love these Kiriko dupes. She get ult so quickly. This is a full cap, you'd imagine. Sound barrier from Vega available. Connects with all 5 as Team Liquid just surge on forward. Like water over a waterfall. I mean, Cinnabar ends up going down. There's a Death Blossom in the back of a piece, barely getting a hit marker. Even has to use that Wraithorn to get away, but Tree's just above him right there, just descending on his head. And that's going to be it, really. Ryan down, and Rose, this is a full cap on Esperanza. Astro has got this Primal Rage, but needs to be at least get something with this Primal, but likelihood is it's just going to be a sore and broken back, potentially.
Yeah, I mean, the Primal is really there to help just give you the respawn advantage, and Ryan does come back out and equalize this team fight. 2 members of Team Liquid down, and everybody else is going to go ahead and disengage. Team Z have saved themselves from getting full capped on Esperanza, but the job is not done yet. There's a lot of work cut out for them to try to make up this enormous differential. 140 meters is almost unassailable. It's going to be very hard, but it starts now with this Kitsune Rush finding value from Team Z over this midpoint.
A really nice rush here, but they need kills with it. They have to at least get something, but they're unable to. RuPaul's now got the rush, is actually on the center of the point. Tree does end up going down to a 4v5 now. Hanbei in trouble, though. Has to use that Swift Depth to get away, but quickly killed off. off. I mean, Vega was basically waiting for Hanbei to appear in front of her. Ryan may be able to close this one again, spotting Zera maybe a little bit weak, but the bot is slowly pushing in Team Z's favor, but they need to win this fight definitively, decisively. They haven't got really any else to do it with. Maybe the pulse one from Ryan can be what they need, but look at Team Liquid's ult back now. They're close to the beat, they're close to Brahma, they've got copy. They can just reset on this high ground and go again.
I mean, just copy the Kiriko again, especially with where you are positionally. I think just go ahead
Rush,
yeah, get the rush on this bridge or even on this corner, and Team Liquid are able to, get the Reaper instead. Okay, that works too. Just push him back.
50% off charge. Look at that. He's just walking on.
You cannot step into this.
There's the ult. How many hit markers? 0. All good though. Bot's been taken, however. Team C2 successfully disengaged from that Echo. However, Pete does end up going down. Sound barrier from Team Liquid again, but Team Z is going to use theirs as well. But is again a 4-on-5 with Infected in this Primal Rage. Just hunting down Hanbei. Nice tracking from Infected there, and it's a bit tough with the Kiriko too. If you've already kind of swift stepped and then the Winston uses Primal Rage, like, you are not surviving. They are going to chase you to the ends of the earth and back. And here comes the final push again, Rose. 1 minute and 20 seconds in the bank.
But Team C do have 3 ultimates here. The Death Blossom's going to be great value playing on this point. Ryan also has the Pulse Bomb, so you know you can just kind of like lob that at the bot. So the works, oh my goodness. But Ryan, he can't even get the Death Blossom off. He dies.
Yeah, he dies instantly. Rush, Primal Rage, emergency tools need to be used, but Hanbei ends up going down still. Ryan's got a Pulse Bomb, but Primal Rage Smasher is going to keep everybody away from this final checkpoint, but he's just getting burned so quickly. Rush on the point, dupe on the Lucio, Death Blossom doesn't connect. A tickling amount of damage there. Trivial, in fact, is Team Liquid full cap Esperanza. Gonna make that a 2-0 as well. A very speedy series so far.
Yeah, I mean, in fairness to Peace there, the Death Blossom is still going to be very difficult to get off, so I think they just need to kind of try to find a way to carve it in there, and hopefully when the fighting is happening on point, there's no Winston bubble to block out any of that damage, but you still go down without being able to get that ultimate off, and it just falls apart from there. Team Liquid have been setting such a aggressive pace with all of the fights that they're taking. All of these engages are happening, but just lights out play from them. RuPaul doesn't die once in that entire map either. So
Sarah died once, so yeah, pretty chilling. Pretty chilling. It's good seeing Team Liquid kind of, like we mentioned, back on form, like maybe taking that 3-2 against SSG and being like, okay, we could have played better. Our comps could have been better. And we want to just secure the #1 seed. We haven't lost a series just yet, and it looks like we're not going to lose another one. They're going to be 4-0 after this if they take the next map, Rose. And I think that leaves them on +9 as well. They've lost 3 maps so far. That was 2 against SSG and then 1 against Nightmare in their opening game. So not quite as perfect as GK. And that series in week 5 is going to be a banger too.
yeah, it
Glad
is.
we're kind of wrapping up our stage with that, but I think Team Liquid, with the addition of Zera coming into this stage, Rose, was so, it was just like perfect, right? This meta just seems so well built for their team. Zera on Tracer, Tree with the Hyperflex, and then Infected being able to play Ball and Winston, these dive heroes. The team looks so well tooled for this meta.
They do, and that's why everybody's been so high on the Team Liquid stocks. A team that is expected to be in the top 3, expected to go to the World Finals, may even be the team that can get the upset onto GK and take the stage win away from them, denying them that perfect OWCS season, or at least 4 out of their 5 members on GK. But Team Liquid really does come in so strong. You could hear it in their comms as well when we did the listen in with them. They're really methodical, thinking about 3, 2, 1, jump. What ultimates do they have? Making sure that they're playing around the tracking so that they don't get caught off guard by something, and still doing a fantastic job with the individual picks from the Echo duplicate to make their ultimate bank even sweeter.
Yeah, I think a lot of people had Team Liquid in their power rankings. I mean, chat, you can correct me if I'm wrong. I mean, look, I think GK was everybody's #1, then Liquid at #2, Space Station #3. That's kind of what I had in my mind coming into this stage. But I think there's a very good opportunity, like you said, for Team Liquid to upset GK on their maps, on their day as well. We're going to Surabasa as our next map. That was Team Z's choice. Obviously, we've seen Team Liquid already ban this Wrecking Ball. But again, another good map for Dive for this very fast play. I don't think we're going to see any kind of Wu Yang either, to be really honest with you. I think Lucio Kiri has been kind of the default for a lot of teams that don't want to play the double flex, which is more than fine. I think Wu Yang is so good with the Tracers that if you're happy with the Lucio, you can just play a lot quicker.
You can, and I think that's exactly where Team Liquid has been able to get the jump on Team Z, with that Lucio being able to get you in faster. It's just been tough to think for Team Z in general to find their footing to actually have a more reactionary style. When I've kind of looking back into some of the other Team Z matches that we've had, they do play very similar compositions. Wrecking Ball, Winston. Even in this matchup, they're still trying to take that Wrecking Ball matchup with that Genji and Tracer as that DPS duo. But Team Liquid just, I think, in the individual head-to-heads as well, not trying to be disrespectful to Team C, but Team Liquid does just have really mechanically gifted players. Pound for pound, this is the type of team that I think if you are going to be taking that mirror matchup is a very, very hard ask.
Mauga ban for TL. Okay. Team Liquid nope, no Mauga for you. And Echo ban. Honestly,
no
the Echo ban here for TL.
Yeah.
I really do. I think Tree being able to play the Echo basically for free, like you were mentioning, right? Someone that needs to be able to mark Echo. Normally, it's the kind of Tracer kind of zipping around, forcing the Echo to use shift, and then kind of following her and then killing her. With that off the table, I think they're going to stand a little bit of a better chance. I think Mauga's decent on this map as well. The being able to play around a lot of corners on Suravasa is pretty easy with Mauga. But for Team Liquid, they banning that away. It's going to be more ball. It's going to be more Winston. It's going to be more fast comps. We'll see if Team Z can get even a single point here, because they didn't manage to get any progress on Esperanza.
Maybe taking the Echo out of the equation is the changeup that they need. Tree was super, super impactful, and not having a great answer to that when you are so invested in being able to run this Genji Reaper or Genji Tracer. I think taking the Echo off the board might make this a bit more of an even matchup. This is where you could get the upset. A lot of teams still talk about this double flex, being able to find those individual moments. But it's hard to do that when you're not actually playing against that same type of composition. So as the gates unlock on what could be our final map of this series, we do have the Symmetra from Tree that's actually going to be the lock-in now that the Echo is off the board. And that makes things really interesting here. Kind of a new flavor to these Wrecking Ball compositions, where Peace is going to try to make things different as they lock into the Sombra.
The Sim is going to get hard dove, though, and that's my only concern. But it doesn't look like it mattered at all. I mean, Cinnabar and Astro, I think they were just kind of teaming up there to try and kill Tree. Tree in a prolonged fight on the Sim is going to do very well against the ball, but normally the Wrecking Ball in these comps aren't going to give that prolonged fight because of how quick they are and how slippery they are too. But yeah, Tree making it look a little easy on the Symmetra so far.
It's still hard to dive the Symmetra sometimes because of the teleporter. Especially if the Symmetra is going to save that cooldown as a more defensive element to just get away from a dive. And then all of a sudden, Team Z might have invested all of those mobility cooldowns to try to go after the Symmetra, and you have the rest of the team there to try to follow up, knowing that Tree could be that bait. Infected gets hacked. So Peace is finding value with the Sombra so far, but it's about converting those hacks into an actual pick. It hasn't happened quite yet.
Oh yeah, and Harme gets flattened as well by Infected. Stick onto the Wrecking Ball. Decent target too, forces the ball's position. Astro's 1 HP as well, goes for the slap, but no, Zera's there with a little blink smack. Nice cap from TL. And you can see the way Team Liquid are playing this comp too. I mean, RuPaul is kind of hanging around with Tree, and they can kind of TP around everywhere. And being able to get away from the Wrecking Ball, like you mentioned, is pretty prominent. They're actually going to keep killing them in the spawn. Unfortunately, Peace, they end up going down. Same with Cinnabar.
Yeah, and so the respawns here are going to make it impossible to get the touch on the flashpoint. Team Liquid are able to win the first one, and they also get positional advantage moving over to the next as Ruins unlock. Infected also has the Wrecking Ball mine, so all of that hard work that he put into that first fight is going to really show itself with the mines being laid over on point, or even just where Team C are going to want to approach from. Either way, this could be a very powerful ultimate, and RuPaul's going to have the rush.
Oh, doesn't need it. RuPaul and Vega take out their like-for-likes. Is Team Liquid. They lose Vega, but it should be fine. RuPaul should be good too. Up here is kind of annoying to get to, especially if you're a Tracer. So yeah, quick teleport to the point, and that will be the point cap. Astro's 1 HP too. Needs to survive, otherwise that's going to be quite the stag. It looks like Astro gets out. They've got EMP now.
They do. That could be a really big part of this fight. But
It hits 3 on the teleport, but they're already up on high ground, so the follow-up is just not there at all. That was a good EMP as well, but I mean, the Tracer can't get up there, can't scale that wall, sadly. I mean, Astro can slam up on high ground, but oh boy, 3-person EMP from Pace, but they get 0 from it.
yeah, it was a great number of players, but no follow-up made that ultimate look so moot. And Team Liquid just go up to the spawn doors again, lay down those Wrecking Ball mines, and delay Team Z from getting back to this point. They're actually even going to just take the fight in the midpoint. They do get infected, so maybe Team Z have a chance with the rest of the ultimates that they have. Astro now makes it to the flashpoint to set up the mines of his own.
Oh, almost got the point as well. Good rush, and now the fully charged Sim can basically do the rest of the work for Team Liquid. Astro's going to have to play there, but a good teleport away stops any damage from landing on tree. Sound barrier is going to be good for Vega, good for Cinnabar as well, but only a 3-man for Team Z is going to make it a bit hard to actually come back in this fight. They end up getting the cap, of course, but a quick reflip there from Team Liquid as the final fight approaches, as Zera touches the spawn door.
Touch the spawn door challenge is one of my favorite mini challenges in some of these matches, but it's really good for Team Liquid to have this confidence to go through with the rest of this flashpoint piece. Just barely makes it there, and they are unfortunately not able to keep up, as this flashpoint should be Team Liquid's after they get the rest of the stragglers.
And Ryan's got pulse. Teleport down, go for the retouch. Oh, with Harmbay dead though. I think RuPaul won that 1v1. Suzu, and you get rolled over. Infected kills at Ryan. No chance to use Pulse. Might be able to kill Astro here too. Cinnabar's also 1 HP. Looks like Astro's going to be able to get out alive. I believe took the Mega Health Pack. So yeah, 2 points on the board for Team Liquid Rose, but yeah, it's looking rather hard for Team Z.
Yeah, this is a really challenging one. Hanbei and Cinnabar both have been a little bit behind the pace for RuPaul and Vegas ults. RuPaul's actually going to have another rush up quite shortly, and alongside of that you still have the Pulse Bomb. Tree's going to be very close to Photon Barrier. I'm really hoping that maybe the difference maker is going to be this EMP, as Peace actually gets a lot of charge over chasing Infected. So if you can come in with another great EMP, maybe that can help equalize a little bit as this flashpoint unlocks.
Hunter Infected 2 goes to the backline, goes for a slam on the Tracer, doesn't get a hit marker, but unfortunately for Cinnabar, her life is cut pretty short. Tree ends up just lasering him down. This is the big thing with the Sim too. You just sit on the point with the turrets. EMP connects with Infected, but yeah, no follow-up. And there's the mines from Infected 2. So it's going to be an impossible task now for Team Z to touch this point without killing them all. But Vega at least goes down to a pulse bomb.
Take it down, I thought maybe would give Team Z a chance, but it's just still so tough when these mines are making the re-approach to this point just a little bit more difficult. They finally expire, and Astro can actually lay down its own mines if he wants to, but you've got Photon Mirror and Rush here still for Team Liquid that they can use at any point, and they're going to use it now. Team Liquid can smell the end of this map and match.
Yeah, RuPaul kind of taking a 1v2 in the backline. Infected shows up in the nick of time and manages to pick up the kill on to Peace. An attempted cap here for Team Z, but like you said, I think Team Liquid smell the blood in the water, and the end of the map is closing in on around Team Z. There is a rush and a pulse bomb available here. And there will be put on the point. It's up to Peace and Ryan now to try and go for this final touch. The Wrecking Ball will come in just a moment, but it's looking rather undoable. There it is. Astro gets another one. Cinnabar, another. However, this final touch is required again. Astro comes in. Nice healthy dose of shields there from Infected. Deploys it on everybody. Team Z with one last blink on. Yeah, it's just a slow dwindling health bars and members here. It's going to be a shutout for Team Liquid. A 3-0 on Sorabasa. And a very quick lunch break as well for them too. I mean, look at that. That was one of the quickest series we've had this stage. Team Liquid very locked in. They know their eyes are on the prize. That rank one, that number one spot above GK. That series next week is important. Get this one out of the way. Focus the prep on week 5. And then, hey, maybe even perform exceptional at the World Finals as well. There are the final stats for you. 3 deaths to Vega, only 1 for Infected.
But for Vega, like, we saw the pulse spawn land too. I think you always know that you're really hoping to trade those backlines with a lot of these teams, but no real progress being garnered from that once Team Z actually did get some of those initial pickups. Great look for Team Liquid, especially after last weekend. I think they're going to be very happy with being able to get such a clean and comfortable 3-0 over Team Z. And hopefully that gives them a little bit more confidence heading into those final matches, because as you said, they get harder. They keep getting harder from here on out, and Team Liquid still need to face up against GK. That's going to be the real test at the end of the season for them.
Yeah, absolutely. Look, another win under their belt, and they haven't lost a series yet. Zoe, haven't lost a series.
It's true.
Yep, they didn't. They played some closer ones though. Drop maps here and there.
Yeah.
So not the same can be said about GK. Alas, that's going to be a good clash when the time comes. For now, though, Team Liquid taking this one to absolutely no surprise. A few good moments here and there, of course, from Team Z, as we have come to know them as well, throughout the stage so far. Like, even if the dub, other than the Dildux victory, was elusive, there were quite a lot of players that we love to highlight because they are playing it well.
Yeah, 100%. I think with Team Liquid's position right now in the meta, I think being able to just practice this one kind of comp over and over and over is going to work really well for them. I think with how they're performing on an international stage, I'm already looking that far forward. It seems a little insane, but right now I'm assuming Team Liquid end up qualifying in that top 3. Man, the Korean Winston Ball teams, like against Team Liquid, like those games are going to be omega bangers. Like there's going to be...
We also all low-key expect there to be a patch prior to international competition facing off against each other.
Yeah,
so then
that is true.
Why Team Liquid has been...
I'm gonna cry. So, oh my god, tears.
But we can all cry together. Well, that's the thing. Like, Team Liquid is like, you can't argue that they're one of the teams who have greatly benefited from the patch changes. Each and every single player is able to like play in their comfort zone. They play the heroes that they like to play, smashing really well together for them as a team. So yeah, I wonder if any changes in the meta will impact that, or if other regions are able to like force a different style of play onto them. So far, of course, in NA that has not been the case, and that's why they remain one of our top teams. For now, speaking of top things, let's take a look at our DHL daily highlights, as we love Cargo delivering the goods.
Oh yes, we do. Yeah, it was a fun day of games. In all honesty, the Dildux one obviously extremely fun. A little bit of Ryan, a little bit of basically everything. I think Team Liquid coming in. It's not going to be too many highlights here. It was a shutout. I think, especially with these games, I think it's going to be hard for Team Z to look back on this. Just the level of play from Team Liquid is just it's too damn high. Like the team is too good. But with Team Z's future in mind, Sakura, Nightmare, and Extinction, they've got 3 more matches left. There's a very good opportunity for them to stay out of that relegation spot.
Yeah, I hope so, because we still saw some bright moments. I mean, Peace got a huge EMP on Sorabasa that if there had been follow-up there, probably would have led to a fight win. And maybe it's just a little bit more communication and coordination that can lead to being able to actually launch off of those big ult moments. Ryan also being able to get a couple of pulse bomb kills, one onto Vega, one another stick onto, and like I think actually even won out one of those duels versus Zera as well. So there's moments there. We just hope maybe they can keep working on that, and especially when they're looking at some of their future matches as well. You still have Sakura, you still have Extinction to play up against, and those are really where we're going to see where Team C truly fall for her standings.
Indeed. Yeah, we still have 2 more weeks of play which need to go down. Still a lot of matches that do mean a lot, as you said, Nekra, in the standings. And what am I reading right there? Liquid in third in standing. Oh, was I supposed to read that? I'm not sure, but I'm sure we're gonna look at the standings. So I can probably read read the Discord message then. So you just cover my face.
It's like, what
we're getting. Listen, there's looking at what production is writing over there. I'm just trying to person. It's like working from home broadcasts do be like that, but you know, it do be like that. Thank you.
I'm curious to hear from like Infected or like anybody.
Hey, you know what? That's a great transition. Let's bring Infected in just for you. Should we just do that for you? This is for you.
Yeah, that's
Jack.
Good.
Infected, just for Jack, and I guess everyone else is allowed to listen as well. Infected, thank you so much for joining us. Congratulations on yet another dub. I don't really want to talk about this game. I actually want to look ahead at week 5. You will be going up against a GK. How do you see that matchup going stylistically? How do you feel like you're stacking up in your current form, in their current form?
Well, for GK, they play a lot of like similar stuff to us, like ball comps and stuff like that. But they also play a lot of Lucio Wuyang. So I think we just need to figure out kind of how to play around like that Lucio Wuyang backline. And I think we have a pretty good idea of what we want to do versus them. So I think we'll be fine going into that match. This should be a fun match.
I really want your thoughts on like the international competition, because going into the World Finals, we'll pretend there's no like crazy patch that changes the meta completely. We'll say it's like the same kind of meta that we have now. What do you think about EMEA's classic tendency to play sim a lot of the time versus, obviously you play little sim here, but it's a lot more like Genji Tracer, even Echo Tracer. Like, how do you feel that matches up specifically, the sim style versus what NA is running?
Yeah, so like for the Sims specifically, it almost changes, like it just changes the game completely and like how you have to play versus like normal comps. So I think definitely going into the EMEA teams, we just need to figure out a way how to beat the Sim. Like same for like any of the other teams, the KR teams, the NA teams too, and the China teams. So I think for us specifically, I think like the scrims going into Stockholm, if we do make it, we're just going to get a lot of practice against Sim and just like figure out a way how to play around it. Because yeah, I mean, those teams with Sim, they're really hard to beat for sure.
Well, I know that they're talking about the more serious stuff. I want to take it to maybe a little bit more of the silly corner. You got the Dildox as one of your final matches, and so I'm kind of curious to hear about, like, what are you hoping you get to play against, and maybe heroes that your team might be excited to play once that match comes? Because we just saw some crazy stuff in the match previous to yours.
Well, I know Tree was actually talking about that today, and he was like, in our Dildox match, I'm going Ryan. I was like, I don't know if they'll let you do that, but if they do, then maybe Tree Ryan, maybe I'll play some Genji. But I mean, Ryan for sure, at least for me, because Reinhardt is like always horrible, but he's always super fun to play.
I mean, it's the least we can expect, right? If Hawk goes Ryan, then the Infected has to. Like, you gotta, yeah.
Yeah, surely you'll be allowed. Surely.
Yeah.
Optimus Prime on the field. We have to see it.
Yeah.
Well, we got a lot to look forward to in that match, and of course also in the match next week. So we're gonna let you rest up and practice all week long. We can't wait to see you and the team back in action again in a week from now. Thank you so much for joining us, and once again, congratulations.
Yeah, thank you so much.